Welcome to In the Deep End. I'm your host, Cosmic.
And I'm your co-host, Twist.
Welcome back, divers. Today we are getting into Love is Blind, Season 6, Episode 2. So, Twist, what do you think about Episode 2 so far?
Well, the episode opens up with Laura and Jeremy. And, Laura is a trip to me because she gives this air of insecurity. Because the first thing that there was like a little conversation at first, and Jeremy mistakes her for Sarah, and she gets all bent out of shape about it, and it's like, oh well, that's Sarah must be your first choice. She didn't say that, but that's kind of what she said,
right?
So I was like, I didn't like that. I didn't like how that made me feel. However, in the conversation, I did like the fact that Laura kind of came right out with Jeremy and said, I'm not here to have a relationship and be someone's mother. So I kind of liked that, because when you're having conversations about being in a relationship, you should definitely tell the other person, what your rules are, if you will, or your wants and needs.
But don't you feel that even if you tell somebody something that they may go, oh yeah, definitely, and then later on you find yourself in the position of being the mother, and all of these boundaries that you set in the beginning of the relationship are now crossed or being pushed or whatever the case may be.
I do, but this is how that would go if it were me. If I tell somebody I'm not interested in being someone's mother,
right, and
then we're in this relationship and you're doing things that require mother attention, you're just not going to get it. That's how that's going to go.
But we know most women...
I'm not picking up your stuff off the floor, okay? I'm not doing that. I'm not putting your dirty dishes in the sink because you keep leaving them on the table. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to wake you up in the morning for work, okay? Because that's what your alarms are for. Adults do that.
Right.
So that's how that would go. And if he complained about that, I was like, I told you up front that I'm not interested in being mommy.
I think a lot of men have this idea that that's what women are, that's a part of their role, is to maintain the household, if you will.
The household, yes. And the kids, yes. But not my grown man as husband, no.
Right.
Okay.
Well, how many grown men have you met?
What does that mean? I've met a lot of. I see what you're saying. There's actual grown men.
Exactly, because there's an idea of the grown man, and then there's what men actually are.
How many grown men have I actually met and had experience with?
Right.
I would say one.
See? So most of the time that's not the case, and unfortunately women do end up playing some form of mommy role in their mate's life. Some enjoy it. Others feel like how you and what's her name?
Well, I must say that I'm a little lenient when it comes to that. I'm saying if I told you that up front
from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
This would be my reaction.
Right.
But I don't mind doing a little something for my husband or my man, whatever the case may be. I don't mind doing that as long as it doesn't get ridiculous.
Right.
That's how I feel about that. But I thought it was a really good thing that she kind of put that out on the table. I'm interested to see what the next episodes are going to bring, if she's going to be as forthcoming.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. I would like to talk about AD. At the time, she's talking in the pods. Not the pods. She's talking in her little dorm with some of her girls. And I'm just like irritated. She's talking about her situation with Matthew. As you guys all know, that turned out to be sour, as Matthew was telling another girl, Amber, I believe her name was, the same exact thing that he was telling AD. And AD, what game are you playing? Why are you even entertaining this foolishness is what I don't understand. You're talking to this girl like, Matthew's still like an option for you. And after all that you've just found out, I don't understand how that could even, I don't understand it. I really don't.
Give AD a little break. AD is truly looking for love. And unfortunately, like she said in the episode,
she's Mrs. Fix-a-Hoe. hoe.
She's fix-a-hoe.
She
That's
is.
right.
I know about that,
so
girl.
th-
Me and you got that bad.
so there's a certain amount of lack of self-esteem that comes with that.
And it has to be, because a part of me felt like either you're desperate or you're that confident in who you are. I'm not sure which one it is.
I don't think it's being that confident in who she is, although she looks great. I mean, her body looks great, but that forehead, but
Man,
good grief, right? But I think that she wants it so badly that she's again overlooking red flags, as she probably has done in the past.
right? That's frustrating. It
is frustrating to watch, only because I've known so many people like her in my real life, and you already know where it's going to end.
Exactly.
And that is heartbreaking, really, for me.
Right.
Watching her do this.
Right.
She kind of does the same thing with Clay.
She does. She does. She should have left, if you ask me.
Left the experiment?
Yeah, she should have
Why?
left the experiment, because you guys already know, I think Clay's no good anyway. But I believe she will soon find out. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. I don't think that's going to make it.
I can say that AD,
and she should have cussed Matthew out.
Is a good person.
She is.
But I'm glad she didn't cuss Matthew out, because, see, she represented black women well.
She did.
Okay?
And, guys, I really appreciate when the girls represent. I really do. But a part of me kind of is so like, I don't want to say it's weakness that you're showing, but it's almost like I see AD in such a higher, I put her on a pedestal in my mind. So to see her not function on that pedestal is very, very irritating.
Now, why do you think you put her on a pedestal opposed to all the other girls?
When you see somebody and you just see the way that it's almost like their energy that they bring to the table. I think AD has this such strong, powerful presence, and she's just it's her spirit for me.
And it makes you angry that she is like treating herself.
Yes.
The way she's treating herself.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So irritating.
That makes sense. I am very happy in the way that AD presented herself, because she was rolling her eyes and stuff. And you know what? That's totally acceptable.
Absolutely.
But I think, her cussing him out, or, calling him on the carpet, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm glad she didn't, because that's what,
that's
the
our
stigma of black women being aggressive and doing too much. So I'm glad she didn't do that.
I am too, and it makes a lot of sense. But like you said, it's good that she didn't call him to the carpet either, which you don't have to cuss him out, but at least call him on his bullshit, because Matthew, you're a goddamn liar. You're a liar.
He definitely
serial
is a liar.
Killer, Jeffrey Dahmer,
Damn.
Ted Bundy. You're no good.
He kind of is like Ted Bundy is.
He is.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him too.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I feel like Matthew's one of these people where he was bullied a lot in high school, or he was the quiet kid. Like, he wasn't really like some like ladies man. And now he's in a position in life, maybe physically and maybe financially. I don't know his financial situation, but I kind of feel like, he gives me those vibes.
Well, that's why, he's socially awkward. And that's why Clay was saying he doesn't talk. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't, have a relationship with any of the other guys in the lounge. So I get it. And you're absolutely right. He probably was a nerd in school and is now finding his way, and probably due to finances would be my guess.
Right.
So, yeah, we all know people like Matthew.
Yes.
We do.
And I also want to touch on the fact when after AD has this conversation with the girls in the dorm, she ends up meeting up with Clay in the pods. And Clay, you have more in common with Matthew than you think, as far as I'm concerned.
He'd be devastated to hear
wouldn't he? because Clay also admits he's like, oh, I'm sorry, not sorry, but he was like, this persona that I put on, I used to be a nerd, so this is just something I just kind of, have cultivated over the years.
He has just had the strength and knowledge to cultivate a persona where Matthew may not have at that time.
I don't think cultivating a persona is a good thing.
Well, it's not for anybody in your life. It isn't.
Right. Me personally, I've done it. It is a glass house sitting on a sand foundation. It's not going good places, and when the house comes down, all that work you put into building this persona, you'll be destroyed. You'll be crushed.
Well, I don't think he's gotten to that point yet where he has experienced that, because you don't know until it comes crashing down. And hopefully if you make it through, then you're able to kind of change the situation, but he may not know that yet.
Yeah. I did not like how he responded to AD telling him about her being emotional about the situation that was going on with Matthew.
It was completely inappropriate.
Like, nigga, why are you pacing around the room like Exactly. That was the most. AD, you need to run far away from Clay. That's not going good places. If you ask me, your heart is way too sweet to be dealing with some nigga like that. And he's insecure himself because he should have been insecure in who he was. And it doesn't matter who you're talking to. And the fact that you would expect that she's only going to be talking to you, dude, you're delusional.
And not only that,
you're not here to talk to one person.
And not only that, but for him to down Matthew by saying, I'm telling you, you're going to regret that. You're going to regret that. And it's like, what does that mean? The people ruin it for others in the experiment. And it is so selfish and unfair.
And she's going to regret you too. She just doesn't know it yet.
And you know what killed me too? When at the end of the meeting with Matthew and AD, how she's all crying and stuff. I didn't really care for that. And that goes in with that insecurity that we were talking about earlier.
Right. I didn't really care for that either. Later on in the episode, AD and Matthew meet up in the pods, and it's very frustrating to see AD playing Matthew's game. He's playing in your face talking about, and I'm sure that you would really love if if I proposed to you, wouldn't you? And she's all, yes. And
that's how she said it.
That is. And I bet that you were really expecting that I was going to be the one, weren't you? Yes. I was pissed. I was like, girl, if you don't stand up. Yeah. Like, what is all of this? It made me sick to my stomach.
Wanting love will take you in some terrible places.
It will. It really will.
So I understand where she is, but does it look good?
It doesn't look good. And that's the thing. I hate that it's on TV.
But you know what?
I'm just like,
again, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't.
And we always talk about that. So she's the complete opposite, and it seems like there's a problem with that.
It's not a problem. It's like I said, I hold her on such a high pedestal that when she's not operating at that level, I just feel so irritated. I just feel so discouraged. Like, sometimes you just want to like poke somebody in their side and be like, remember who you are.
Yes.
It's just, but everybody's human.
Everybody's human. And keep in mind, she didn't know who Matthew was.
True.
See, we know it because we're watching it.
But you do know it.
Just by how the conversation.
When Amber tells you,
you're right about that. Yeah,
he's told you the same thing. To me, being a Cancer, if you tell me something and I'm all emotional because it hit me in the heart or whatever, and I'm thinking that that was really tailored for me, and then I find out that you're telling other people this and you're full of shit, I'm gonna be so pissed that you played on my emotions. I'm gonna call you to the carpet.
You know what?
And some maybe.
You are right, because she did know that.
She did know that. And she's still over there. Yes.
She did know that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of agree with you on that. But again, I have to say it again for the people in the back. When you are in search of love and feeling that you've been unloved, you kind of take on and do more than you should.
And that's the truth. And that's the truth. I can't say that. I am, look, I am not without sin. So I can't throw any stones, to be honest. But shout out to AD for representing Black women well. We really appreciate that over here at the In the Deep podcast.
Yeah, also. And two, yeah, I kind of felt a certain way when AD was crying and stuff, but I'd much rather it be that than something the other way around. But AD is all right. And she's all right, and I hope that one of these matches that she is interested in work out for her.
Hopefully. And after AD and Clay's meeting in the pods, Clay goes back to the dorm, the men's dorm, and he's talking to some of the guys. I think Kenneth was one of them. Mm-hmm. And he is talking about how he hates to be in competition with someone he doesn't feel that is of his caliber. Mm-hmm. And he goes, Matthew must be a sleeper. I mean, this dude doesn't talk. What could she see in him? Bah, 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 bah. And what gets me is he goes as far as to say, what kind of emotional conversation is he having? Nigga, you don't have no emotional conversation either. What are you talking about?
Clay sees himself higher than he is.
He really does. I don't know who's been pumping his head up, but you stop lying to that man. You have him out here on TV looking crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you. But then you know what? In that same scene when he turns to the white dude and he goes, well, if it was somebody like you, then okay.
And
what?
And you know what that told me? That told me, okay, Clay, it's not, you don't want no real competition is what it sounds like. That's what it sounded like to me.
Dude.
You want to for sure win is what that statement. He had pointed to Kenneth and said, now if it was you, bro, then I'd be like, okay, I'll give you that. But you're over there pointing to Thomas.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
It's like, boy.
I think he was just trying to make him feel comfortable, to be honest.
The white boy.
Yes.
Like to make him, give him he was trying to boost his ego.
And it's not a white and black thing. It's
just
yeah.
Thing. Oh, I see what you're saying. That could be true.
That's what I think he did.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So again, I really hope that AD does find one of the matches she has set her eyes out for, because I would like to see her happy. I really would.
Me as well. After we see Clay in the men's dorm, we see AD in the women's dorm, and she ends up having a conversation with Amber, basically telling Amber, hey, this is the situation. He's been telling me the same thing that he's been telling you, right down to the details of, oh, I would love to call your dad. If I can't call your dad, let's just get out of here so that I can go meet him, and because you're the one I want. And Amber is sitting there bamboozled. She is so bamboozled. You had me a little fucked up though, Amber, because AD goes to give Amber a hug and she starts crying and she goes, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to take him from you.
Girl, stop it.
I was like, what you trying to say?
Right.
But I have the utmost respect for Amber, because Amber heard that and she did what AD should have done. And she said, yeah, it's time for me to bow out, because this isn't what I came for. And I have so much respect for that. But we know how Love is Blind goes. Let's hope that she sticks to that. And when they end up meeting each other, that she doesn't try to work her way into the fold with Matthew, if Matthew's there, or whatever the case may be.
I'm not sure that I agree with her leaving the experiment, because why should you cut yourself out of potentially finding someone else because this one person disappointed you? It's not about that one person. It's about several personalities and trying to find a match. So if Matthew did that, you're pissed off at him, you don't want to talk to him no more, cool. Then go and talk to somebody else. Hell, tell production that you want to talk to some of the other singles.
I don't know. I kind of feel, Amber, I'd have a bad taste in my mouth about the experiment at that point. Because, and And though it's wrong, and though I know that this isn't necessarily the truth, you kind of feel like, oh, the men here are just here playing games. They're not looking for anything serious. They're not looking for anything real. I'm wasting my time.
But we know from past seasons, and as she should as well, I'm sure she has watched them before she went on, that people do find true love. People do get married from this experiment.
That's probably why she went on the experiment.
Why short yourself, though, because you had one bad experience?
I understand getting a bad taste in your mouth about something. And she may, who knows what her personality is. She may have been going on a limb to even come on this show at all. And you know how you have apprehension about doing something.
Oh, and then you do it. It's like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have come on here.
Right. It could be something like that.
Could be.
So I understand if that's how she feels, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that, but it's just unfortunate that she missed this opportunity for herself because of one lion-ass dude.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree.
So, guys, up next in the pods, we have Brittany and Kenneth. I must say, I like Kenneth. I like Brittany. I think that these two are definitely meant to find each other, for better, for worse, whether it works out or not. I genuinely believe their souls were meant to come together in this moment, in this experiment, and I really enjoy seeing them going back and forth, and I just like it. I can't tell you what it is, but I really do like it.
I agree with you. The synergy is there, and you can see it, you can feel it.
Yes.
I like the fact that they were actually asking each other real life questions.
Yes, those
matter.
are the questions you should be asking
Up front.
And they're having real conversations about their life.
And then at that point if this person is for me or not, because you're asking the hard questions up front.
Yes.
They also got really intimate about some emotional things that have happened in their lives.
Such as?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you guys out there, however.
Look, if you haven't watched the episode, click off now.
But what happens is they talk about how her mom's twin sister was killed in a car accident.
Yes.
And it was her twin, so it was like devastating. More devastating than it would be, on a usual situation. And he also talks about how he lost his mother very early on to cancer.
At 12.
Jeez. So they're, suffering those sort of losses.
Yes.
And it's nice when you can speak with someone about it. And although she doesn't understand directly, she has an indirect experience with it.
Right.
So I thought that was a good conversation. I have nothing bad to say about them at this time.
I don't either. I'm just a little worried. I wonder if when she sees him, is she going to be, feeling it? I'm not sure, but we'll see, guys. We'll have to stay tuned and find out.
She's cute too. She
cute,
is, and I think she has a good personality.
She does, and she actually has substance, and I like that. So many of these girls, they don't have a lot of substance.
Well, that is true, and I think that people are like that in general.
Because
it's like if you look at this cast or the cast of Love is Blind on all seasons, it's like a microcosm of our whole society.
That's true.
So not many people are genuine and have any substance or sustenance or anything. They're just a shell of a person full of fake and phony behaviors.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree.
So what do you think about Johnny and Amy?
I don't know how I feel about Johnny, to be honest. I kind of feel like Johnny's playing games. It's like, how do you love this person you've never seen? That made me sick. Johnny goes, oh, and I love you. And he said it in such a corny way that I kind of felt like it was games. So that's how I feel about it. I think my initial response to Johnny was that Johnny's playing games. Amy, Amy seems cool, I guess. I don't dislike her, but I don't necessarily like her either.
One thing about
And that sushi looked disgusting. Ugh.
one thing about Johnny and Amy, they're cute. I think they're cute.
You think?
I do. But one thing in their conversation, and this like irritates me quite a bit actually. She was talking about some sort of family event or something, and she goes, usually in Hispanic families, right?
Right.
And it kind of goes against what the whole experiment is based upon.
Right.
You are not supposed to tell the other person what you look like, because the relationship is supposed to be based solely on connection.
Right.
So I feel once you've given that away, the experiment is over in a way.
Right.
That's how it makes me feel.
I completely agree, but then a part of me feels like it does add context. It's not, you should have just said, my family, but adding the Hispanic to it, everybody knows how Hispanic families are, if you've been around Hispanics at all. Hispanic families are very integrated in each other's lives. It's a very tight network, if you will. So it's different. I don't think many families are like Hispanic families, so it does add a different layer of, I don't want to say difficulties, but it's just a different layer. It's a different
and you know what?
layer of reality.
I agree with that, but that's something that you can discuss once you meet the person.
I agree.
Or, see the person. And, Amy was talking about, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think it's a good thing that she's talking about her brother. Her brother has something going on. So, some sort of Down syndrome or ADHD, hell, something like that. I don't remember what it was, but Amy was telling Johnny that, if this works for us, there may come a time when he may have to come and live with us.
I was emotional watching her talk about this,
yeah,
for
me
sure.
too. And I was like, oh, that's like so sweet, right? But for somebody, it would kind of be scary too, because if you're taking on this woman and God forbid something happened to dad, then now you're going to be responsible for this person.
To me, if you love somebody, you're not just getting in a relationship with that person. You're not just marrying that person. You're marrying all that comes with them.
It's true.
And if I love you, I'm taking everything that you come with. That's just me. So it would never be a problem for me. But I understand most guys don't feel that way.
Well, I don't,
hell, most people.
Loving someone and taking on their baggage and stuff, I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. And Johnny took it well, and he thought it was, endearing.
Yes.
That's how she felt about her brother. It's just that it was very touching. It was very touching.
It was.
And but difficult, because if, a lot of people just don't want to be bothered. Now, it's one thing to go to family barbecues and to the birthday party, but actually having somebody live with you and up front this could potentially be our situation. And he's like, okay, so good for Johnny.
Yeah, good for Johnny. I like that about you, dude. Johnny's face is weird to me.
The way it's shaped.
It throws me off. It's like he's almost cute, but the way his face, he almost has a pie face.
He does. A pie face with a big old jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It's just like every time I see him, I'm just kind of like, how you got to squint at folks? I'm just like, damn, what's going on
what is
here?
it about him?
Yeah.
But they're cute. So I wish them well. Also, I just hope that, they like each other.
Me as well. So our next couple, our next little pod situation, we got Jimmy and Chelsea. Look, guys, in my notes, I just got ... Boy, Chelsea makes me sick.
Chelsea's fake. She's
so fake.
And phony.
And Jimmy's talking to her, and there's a point in the conversation. Jimmy goes, 90% of everything I hear from you is just laughs and chuckles. And she continues laughing.
Everything he needed to know.
It should have told him, and I was thinking in my head, like, girl, he's trying to tell you laugh too much. Say something.
That's right.
And she's just like, yeah, you're just so funny. funny. You just make me laugh and this, that, and the other. And then you have the audacity to say, do you look like any celebrities? Because people tell me all the time I look like Megan Fox. Now boy, bitch, you do not look like Megan Fox. You do not.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely
ridiculous.
But she did say the only reason is because of her hair and her eyes, but it's almost like you shouldn't have even been confident enough to say that.
But you know what the kicker is? It goes back to what I was saying about Amy.
Right.
You don't say things like that when it's supposed to be an experiment regarding sight unseen.
Right.
And then what does Jimmy say? Typical dude. Will you marry me?
Right.
And
you look like Megan Fox?
Come on,
you know
man.
how pissed you are when that curtain opens?
But see, that's the thing. You never say anything and set yourself up because this is what the person's going to expect if they ever see you. It's just ridiculous. And you know, Jimmy was describing his perfect date.
That's the General Dollar version of Megan Fox. It's like,
yeah,
that's the Great Value brand.
The Wish version.
Right.
Yeah, but look, when Jimmy was talking about the perfect day, it was like the most generic description of a perfect day, but yet and still. And Chelsea, like you said, she was busy giggling and laughing.
Right.
She has no substance.
None.
She didn't come back and say, so my perfect day is, or
I like that because.
Yeah, or right. Just add something. But she added nothing. Yeah. But just, oh my God. Yeah. All that.
Ridiculous.
So and anyway, what was so funny?
Nothing.
Yeah. What was funny? It didn't make any sense.
Boo. Moving on.
Yeah.
They were in the girls' dorm. And Jessica, what's going on with the fan? Is it hot? Is she fanning away her tears? I don't know what was going on in that scene. There's a scene where Jessica looks like she's like getting teary-eyed and she has this fan and she's waving it back and forth. Now, if this is for your tears, this is the most white girl shit I think I have ever seen in my life. I have never seen no shit like this before. I was just like, I was wondering if it was hot. If it was hot, I was like, okay, then that makes sense. But, Love is Blind. Are you balling on a budget? Why you got it hot in the dorms? That's fucked up.
Jessica's an interesting character in this.
She is. Isn't she?
I was like a little irritated, to be honest with you, when she was talking to
Jimmy.
No, it wasn't Jimmy. It was Jeremy. Isn't it Jeremy?
Jimmy. It was Jimmy.
No, Jimmy is with Amy, the Hispanic girl. So I think it's Jeremy. Because
That's Johnny.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you're right.
Jimmy's talking to Chelsea and Jessica at the moment.
Yeah, and Jimmy, it just irritated me because she's talking about, oh my God, I miss my daughter Amber. Autumn. And I just, and she's my favorite person. You know what? All that's cool, but you're really there to get to know the person you're talking to. Okay? That's what you're there for. And if I were the other person on the other side of that glass, I'd be irritated.
I could understand where the irritation comes from, but I do have to say, I like when people are real with their emotions and how they're feeling instead of coming in all bright and when that's not how you feel, So I like how she kept it short. She did her little thing. Then she said, I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to talk to you or anything. I'm just going through something. And again, if you're going to take on this person, you have to take on all that comes with them. It is annoying and it is kind of off-putting even, but be all the way. You're in it now. Now, bitch, you should have told him from the beginning so he could have decided whether or not he wanted to mess with you. But
and
now
you may not be even having these conversations if you had done that.
Right. But now that you are in this situation, I think it's good that she is doing that. She didn't make the whole conversation about her daughter. She had a moment, and I don't mind a moment.
I think her daughter, she has too many moments to me about her daughter. And I think think that when they talked about the daughter in the first episode, that should have been it.
Okay.
I haven't, not unless he asked you a question about her.
About her, right.
You always talking about your daughter? That would, look, I used to date this guy. This is like totally off topic, but I used to date this guy, and he was always talking about his daughter. My daughter got good grades today. My daughter did this today. You know, my daughter called and said this, that, and the third. I got to a point where I was like, look, I don't feel like talking about your daughter today. So if that's all you're going to talk about, I'll talk to you later. Click.
Because am I dating your daughter or am I dating you? That's kind of how it feels, right?
I don't give a damn about your daughter's grades. I don't care how her day was today. You know, we're not there yet.
Right.
We're not there yet.
Right.
So that's why that irritates me so much.
That's fair.
Let's do you and me. We have a limited time to get to know each other. And I don't want that time being spent talking about you and your daughter and how much you miss her and all that. We can talk about that once we see each other and decide to move forward.
That's fair. I understand where you must be coming from when you say that. You know, Jessica, although, you know, I feel some type of way about her, Jessica has a little depth to her, and I like that about her.
Well, she's had a hard life, according to what she was describing.
Yes, and I thought that I gotta applaud her because I thought that was excellent. I thought that her being open and about her hard life and things like that and how she perceived it and how, you know, she dealt with it or deals with it even now, probably subconsciously. I think I like that she was open. The white girl was able to dive in and go deep. Her and I believe Brittany are the best, two of the best girls on the show when it comes to that.
I agree with that as far as Jessica, but I gotta tell you guys, if I was on the other side of that pot, the whole growing up situation, it would turn me off.
Why? What about the growing up would turn you off?
Because she said it was chaotic.
Yeah.
She said her parents were drug addicts. She was sent into the foster system. Pops was in jail. Just a mess.
True.
So, you know what that tells me? If I was on the other side of that wall, that would tell me that this girl has a lot going on, whether subconsciously or consciously, and it's going to come out in our relationship. And I don't want to play therapist.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to be with a whole person.
I love playing therapist. It's toxic. It's no good. It doesn't make for a good relationship, but it's one of my problems I have. I play therapist.
I don't want to do therapy. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that, and it might be selfish of me, but that's just where I am.
Right.
So
I can understand that. Jimmy has, I don't know what it is about Jimmy's energy. You just attract women with problems and issues, dude. I just want you to have somebody who's light and, you know, good for you, but whatever it is about you, the broken people are just drawn to you. They just like moss to the light. My bad.
Jimmy might have some issues too that unresolved, you know, that he's trying to play out in real life.
And you know he's a Scorpio, so he can hide very well.
Scorpio. Yeah. So yeah, Chelsea's just not my favorite character at all. She's just not my favorite character. So it's
Chelsea or Jessica.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Is not my favorite.
Yeah.
Character.
I don't like
the Jimmy, Chelsea, Jessica triangle.
And what gets me about Chelsea is she's talking to Johnny, I believe, at the time. And was she talking to Johnny? She was talking to Trevor. Chelsea's talking to Trevor, and guess what? The bitch is laughing again. So,
about nothing.
Jimmy's not that funny. It's almost like you don't have substance. All you can do is laugh.
That's right.
It's just irritating.
And you know what?
You are the last person that needs to be talking on appearances. Every time you're in the pod, you're talking about your blue eyes or your dark hair or how the other person looks. You need to be focused on somebody everybody liking you for you, because you are going to have a lot more problems than the other girls in this experiment. And that is not to shame body types or anything. Trust me, I have no room to talk. I'm just saying, for the experiment's sake, you're not supposed to be on here talking about looks. And damn sure, if you're going to talk about looks, don't lie.
Do you know why she lied and said she looked like her? Because she has nothing else
to say.
So she wanted Jimmy to pick her. That's why she threw out that little crumb, because she can't pull him with anything else.
Right. And she's also, well, I don't think she told Trevor how she looks, but she's over here. What do you look like, Trevor?
Right.
I think you look like X, Y, and Z.
But how in the hell did she know that he had a mullet?
She did clock his ass, though. She did.
That was a trip.
She did. She might have some kind of, some type of talent she doesn't know about.
Maybe because that hit the nail on the head with that one. Big old neck with the mullet.
She said
That's what she said.
She did.
And I like Trevor.
You do?
I haven't really gotten to know him at this point.
Me either.
In the experiment, but what I have seen, I like.
Mr. I like butterflies.
Right.
I like Trevor. I think Trevor's probably a good dude. I think.
This big old man with muscles talking about, I like butterflies.
I like that though. You don't have to be all macho all the time.
Oh, not all the time.
You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Trevor, you're cool or whatever.
But overall, it was a good episode, I think. We got a really good idea of the people in the couples and who they are. So it was pretty good. But
I agree.
Yeah, what did you think about the episode?
Well, towards the end, one of the last few scenes, we have Johnny talking to Amy. And at first, guys, I thought Johnny was playing games. I'm still not sure because, go with your first gut instinct. But one thing that made me kind of feel like Johnny was serious is Johnny sits down, he pulls a chair forward, he's in the pods with Amy.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, all right, so 2 things. And in this moment, this seemed very genuine to me. I forgot what the 2 things were, guys, but I remember one of them was, I just want our relationship, of course there's going to be outside influences, but one big thing is I just want to make sure that it's you and me, And do you remember what the first one was?
No.
I don't remember what the first one was either.
But they were very real requirements or statements, if you will.
Oh, he said, I'm not perfect. And I'm going to make mistakes. All of that stuff.
That is what he said.
Johnny, what do I want to say? I think he's going to have a hard time with that whole you and me versus the world because she comes from a Hispanic family. And because Hispanic families, it's going to be you and them.
Everybody's in each other's business all the time.
So I think if that's what he's looking for, he's going to have a hard time finding it there. But I really did like that he was real in that moment. Like I said, I don't know. The jury's still out on Johnny, but that gave me a really good feeling that, okay, maybe he's here for the right reasons. Maybe it's his face that throws me off. I don't know. Maybe it's the way he holds his face that throws me off. I'm not sure.
Well, you know what? That's a very interesting point that you made because, yeah, you're right. Him saying that is like, I want it to just be me and you. Yes, other people are going to come and go, but as long as we're right here.
Right.
That is going to be very difficult in that big Hispanic family. It really is.
Very difficult. But hopefully, for all we know, he could gel perfectly with the family.
Yeah, he could.
And it could be everything that he's looking for. That's what I hope for you both. And guys, Johnny proposed. So, Johnny proposed to Amy. In the next episode, we will see them meet each other. And that will be very, very interesting. Hopefully, they like what they see. And the synergy is there. And the relationship takes off. So, we'll have to find out.
My heart would be pounding.
Wouldn't it?
It would. It would be pounding if I was getting ready to meet someone that I so-called fell in love with sight unseen. I'd be so nervous.
I'd be like one of these girls on one of these previous seasons. She took 3 shots before the door opened. I feel you.
Just in case.
I don't even drink like that, boy. I'd be throwing them back.
Yeah. Yeah, just in case, but I would be definitely nervous. You know what? And another thing, there are some girls and guys alike that shouldn't even be on the show.
They shouldn't.
You know, because you know damn well that your body type is not going to be of preference. And why would you put yourself in that position, and not only you, but the other person too?
Right. And if you make it, you're an exception, because there's Tiffany from season 5.
Yeah, and I liked Tiffany. She was cute.
Tiffany, but she wasn't, though. She had bad skin. She was bigger. She wasn't fat, but she was
a big
bigger.
girl.
She was a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
I thought she was cute.
it worked out for her. So she was the exception to the rule. But 9 times out of 10, no, that is not going to be how it ends up.
Go on a diet before you decide to partake in such an experiment.
True.
Or do some self-improvement, you know. So if you do
Physically.
Right. Because let's face it, men are physical first.
That's all they are.
And even if
a lot of them,
and the experiment is supposed to be about physical not being on the table, but it is
True.
What it is, even though they really like you enough to, you know, propose to you. But when they see you, all that, you know, you know, we're friends.
It's like this is off topic, but there's this guy at my job, and there's this bigger girl that works there, and from what I could tell, she's a little ratchet, but she is also super nice. So, but all he goes around telling all the guys, you know, like, yeah, that big one over there, yeah, and he's making this face. I'm like, that's just so fucked up. Your character is so trash. It's just, I don't like that. I hate that guys are that way.
It's just how they are, though, you know? I mean, even if you're beautiful and big, you still have an issue.
You do.
But you know what's a trip about that? Is that when you meet somebody, right? You know, ugly you can't remove.
Right.
But fat you can. You know, weight is a fluctuating thing. So I don't know why guys don't meet somebody that's really, really cool, but they're overweight and then work with them.
Like, what's his name from Why Don't I Get Married? Or Why Did I Get Married?
Yeah.
What is that?
Why Did I Get Married?
Yeah, Why Did I Get Married? Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married? Like how he takes Sheila.
Yeah.
He's all like, I rock with her. Look, and he had her out there.
Yeah.
All out of breath. But boy, when she showed up to that event,
that's
snatched.
Right. What love can do for you.
Right.
You know, if
and you got a good person, and then you know she was big and lost all that weight, so now her body's like banging when she should. Boy, I'm telling you.
I don't know why guys are that way. They are about right now and what's right in front of them right now. And you know what's funny? Like AD, she said she will fix a hoe.
Right.
Guys are a trip because guys are not like that. Women will take
not
somebody
typically.
Who needs a little help and work with them.
Right. Build them.
But guys don't want to do no work.
Guys suck. They suck.
Do.
They suck. We suck.
I don't know why they're so shallow. The shallowness is real.
We're taught to be that way most of the time.
You think so? What, societal?
Absolutely. Society, whether it's society, whether it's even in the men in your family. A lot of the time, there's conversations that happen with the boys and, you know, the things that you learn in hanging out with your elders in that sense that kind of, I see how you find, you know, you become shallow and then people clown, whether your age or not.
You mean if you have someone that's not attractive?
You might really like when you're younger, you might really like someone who's not attractive. They may be fat. And, you know, you're talking to your boys like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm like on right here. And then you're clown. And then they make it seem like, oh, well, you can't do better. So it only makes sense. So, see, it kind of becomes like this thing where guys pick women for other men's attention. They don't pick the women for themselves.
So they can look at their boy and be like, she's bad, right?
Right.
She's bad.
And they think that says something about them.
Instead of them asking, is she a good person?
Yeah.
They could care less about what kind of a person
if you lose your legs today, is she going to be there tomorrow for you and not waiting on your check to come or check you out the hotel so she can get some insurance or your assets.
Right, or you'll be locked in the basement while she's living the life with somebody upstairs.
All hungry and shit.
Right.
Thirsty.
But you know what? And you know what? This
Diaper hasn't been changed in 3 days. Like, damn.
this whole society right now, especially the youngsters in this society, they're getting all this work done on their bodies.
Yeah.
They're like dying to look good, literally.
Literally dying.
And that's unfortunate. They're doing all the BBLs, the liposuction, the whole breast augmentation. I mean, you name it, they're doing
facial
it.
reconstruction,
All of
lip
it.
injections,
Yes.
all of that stuff.
Because guys are shallow, but you know what's unfortunate about that is that they're spending tens of thousands of dollars on the exterior,
And
but
nothing.
nothing for the interior.
Isn't that a trip?
It's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad because a lot of us, women.
And then you get all that done and you stink.
Yeah, right. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. But
And you said a lot of women need help?
us as people need help.
That's true. I agree.
Because a lot of us came from, abusive homes, broken homes, had a marriage that was abusive. I mean, you never, who knows?
Right.
One that was a third child and didn't feel like they got the love they needed. There's all kinds of stuff that happens to us. Assaulted, all kinds of things. But nobody's fixing the stuff that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So that's just the whole love is blind idea, though, because it's, again, love isn't blind. And I hope that after, watching and experiencing experiments such as this, I might change my mind. I don't know, but chances are no, because men, in my opinion, are shallow.
And that's period. Well, thank you guys for listening today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Tell us what your thoughts are on the couples and what do you think about Matthew's foolishness and AD's persistence in entertaining these two men. What do you think about Johnny's face? Does it bother you? Do you think he's cute? What do you think about Johnny? Let me know. What do you think about Jessica? Do you think that she should be talking about her daughter at all? Do you think it's a moment is allowed if you are looking to be in a relationship, not just a relationship, a marriage with a person? All of these things. Do you think that, what do you think about Chelsea? I guess, whatever. Anything else you have for him, Twist?
That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you guys so much. Follow us. Make sure to give us 5 stars. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. YouTube channel will be up soon, guys. We are working on it. And that is all we have for you guys today. Deep Divers, thank you for listening. And we will talk to you soon. Gone.